Arthur, I think we'll talk about LSU men's basketball for 20 minutes straight today. Just kidding. We're talking Lane Kiffin and LSU football being the perfect match. We're also naming the top returning defensive players for the Tigers in 2026. And of course, more pointing and laughing at Ole Miss. Hit that button. Arthur. Welcome. I'm Ruddy Rutledge, and he's Arthur. You know, some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Ben McDonald in college baseball. Florida fans in jorts. Angry Aggie women in hairy armpits. I could go on, but you get the picture. Some things just belong together. And going by his first few months on the job, it's apparent that Coach Lane Kiffin and the LSU Tigers football program are a perfect match at the perfect time. The portal era of college football, the pay-for-play era. It's a prime example of right coach, right place, right time. And I know we still got to wait a while till actual games are played, but so far, the Kiffin-LSU pairing looks like such a natural fit. It's like pulling up to a liquor store and seeing Pete Golding leaning up against the wall outside, begging for somas. Just looks and feels right. Natural. Fluid. Hey, Pete likes fluids. But there haven't been many better fits in college football in recent years than Kiffin and LSU right now. I know that's a big statement to make, takes on some big territory. But since Lane arrived in Baton Rouge, things have gone rather well for LSU. Some would say he's done solid work. Others might say Lane Kiffin's been shoving other coaches in lockers and being an evil, dominant supervillain. He brought in a proven coaching staff and support staff, signed a really strong high school class within days of being on the job, very top-heavy class. Then he turned the transfer portal into a crime scene, took whoever he wanted, stripped the shelves bare, best class in the history of the portal. So yeah, you could say Lane's cooking with jet fuel and a whole lot of cash. And there's a general feeling running through the LSU fan base right now as we move towards spring practice that the Tigers finally have their coach. Their long-term coach that fits this program like a glove. How many fans felt that way about the last coach who used LSU as his retirement fund and who was about as motivated as melted ice cream? Imagine the LSU football head coach turning down phone calls with recruits. Tell him to make an appointment if he wants to talk to me. What? That mentality, that approach is such a contrast from what we're seeing now. A coach who leads from the front, flying across the country and driving across this state like a madman. People can say LSU recruits itself and has all this money to spend now, but this guy is working this job. Seems like he's everywhere. Like he's got a clone. Maybe he does. He has to have visited most of the major high schools in the state already, and some smaller ones. Probably already learning some of the back roads, but do be careful, Lane. Got to stay alert on those Louisiana back roads and watch out for the Rougarou. You also have this as far as Kiffin being a fit at LSU. He's making the attempt to fit in. Unlike Brian, who never appreciated Louisiana for being the unique place it is, let alone take advantage of that. Couldn't handle that August heat either, I don't think. But Lane immediately leaned into Louisiana culture. And it wasn't a headfirst dive like Shia LaBeouf. He goes to local businesses and restaurants around the state, gives them shout-outs and plugs for their businesses. And then you see him tossing beads in an LSU jersey and Endymion. No wonder the fans are on board. Appearances at baseball games, basketball games, Pelicans games. interacting with Tiger fans on social media. And Kiffin says it's just different at LSU, and he's right about that, but I want to throw this in there. Lane himself is a unique individual in this sport. As most fans know by now, he's not your typical SEC football coach. Kind of odd, awkward personality at times, maybe even weird, which makes this that much more of a perfect fit. Now, saying a coach is a fit or isn't a fit at this place or that involves a lot more than just where the coach is from. Brian Kelly didn't fit in down here, no, but he never really made an attempt to. Didn't win enough either, obviously. Winning always fits in. Lane knows that. Nick Saban's from West Virginia. He fit in pretty damn well down here. So did Les Miles of Elyria Falls, Ohio. Jay Johnson is from California. Anybody want to say he doesn't fit in at LSU? But in the case of Lane and LSU, it's one of those know it when you see it kind of deals, and this is clearly a fit. Right coach, right place, right time. In Kiffin, you have this quirky personality but gifted offensive mind with a proven track record for developing quarterbacks who just took Ole Miss on the best run they've been on in 6 decades, and who is entering what should be his prime years as a head coach at age 50. This current version of Kiffin is the ideal coach for the portal era. Really at any big school, but you place him in the captain's chair at LSU, which is just different, yes, but it's also a monster football program and a top 5 job in America. You put those two in a room together, you're going to get some smoke. Now, we're not talking Pete Golding hot boxing his van smoke, but smoke. Just regular smoke. And now I can't help but wonder just exactly what type of van old Pete would drive if he drove a hot-boxed van around Oxford. Would it be a big old Scooby-Doo mystery machine van? Maybe. Probably. How about a plain white Chester the Recess Pest minivan? The old Stranger Danger Deluxe? Who can really say? I guess Pete Golding. Maybe. We have had our share of fun with Ole Miss on this show, and I see no good reason to stop. They're going to hate LSU for the next 50 years or so, might as well have fun with it. Our last episode on Kiffin derangement syndrome was fun and informative. Please check it out if you haven't. Now things are looking up some recently for the Rebels. Not in women's basketball, but quarterback Trinidad Chambliss was ruled eligible by a court of law for the 26th season. Really doesn't want to play in the NFL, does he? Don't make me go, Judge, please. But LSU and Ole Miss fans are still very much at each other's throats on the internet, and a lot of the heat now seems to revolve around the 2 head coaches, both of them. As most Tiger fans know, that's Pete Golding, and he's apparently won some playoff games all by himself, and he's the content gift that keeps on giving. So today we're going to stick with our fun and informative theme, and we'll be using this segment right here to clear up some things. A lot of rumors, a lot being said out there about these 2 excellent head coaches. And we're going to set some facts straight. And no need to get fancy, we'll just call this Lane versus Pete, fact or fiction. I'll read statements that I've either heard or read online about these 2, and then we'll just reveal right here if they're fact or fiction, true or false. Simple enough. Here we go. Pete Golding, once affectionately known as Piss Drunk Pete, is actually from Hammond, Louisiana. That's a fact. That is true. Next one. Lane Kiffin has never used the words or the hashtag just different when describing Ole Miss football on social media. He has not, and he never will. So if you said fact, you are correct. Here's something very interesting I read online. Most of the blame for Ole Miss's disappointing 3-loss season back in 2024 can be placed on then defensive coordinator Pete Golding more so than head coach Lane Kiffin. Golding allegedly missed too much work that season after having a restraining order filed against him by a porta potty. Hey, that's obviously false. It's fiction, I think. And Pete's feral appearance had nothing to do with it either, because if you watch those games, especially the LSU game, you know Ole Miss lost those games because of Pete Golding's terrible, piss-poor defensive calls. Okay, next one. Lane Kiffin coached Ole Miss to their only 11-win season in school history. I've seen this repeated out there as a fact, and it's kind of a fact. It is and it isn't. More is than isn't. Kiffin actually coached the Rebels to their only 2 11-win seasons. Both of them. Okay, this one was in the news, not just social media. Pete Golding was recently accused of tampering in a scathing public accusation by Clemson coach Dabo Swinney. Oh, that's a fact. Dabo made the accusation. Dabo had a chapped ass. But then, a few days later, I found this one, our final comment for today. I pulled it from a very small, obscure Clemson Tigers message board, unnamed. It'll remain unnamed. And I'll just go ahead and say, we cannot confirm this is fact, but we can't deny it either. The comment was made by a suspiciously named poster named Dabo Swinney. That Pete Golding tried to run a prevent defense against a vodka tonic and got crossed up. He looks like he just got evicted from a septic tank. Go Tigers. Hallelujah. We just little old Clemson. Okay, I couldn't help but read that in Dabo's voice there at the end. And that post, of course, on a Clemson message board, was liked by someone named Lane Kiffin. The countdown to the first spring practice on March 24th is on, and this is one of the most anticipated springs at LSU in quite a while. Once these practices start, Tiger fans are going to be locked in, begging for info like it's gold or crack. And I have to figure a lot of the news and info coming out is going to center around the transfers. That's what people are excited about. We haven't seen any of these guys in purple and gold yet, and fans want to hear about them. And there's over 40 of them, so they're going to make up almost half the team. Defensively, the Tigers brought in a big haul in the portal, and they signed some elite high school defenders. But I don't want to overlook the talent that's returning from last season to this LSU defense this spring. So that's what the focus is on today. First, Kiffin retained defensive coordinator Blake Baker, along with most of his 2025 staff on the LSU defense, and that was a big check mark. And he's not been perfect, but Baker has made big improvements to this defense both seasons he's been at LSU, 24 and 25, after replacing the incompetent Matt House. Started very strong last year before things went south midseason and Kelly was fired, and I'm looking to see if Baker's defense this year can take that next step up. Take the next big step and be consistently dominant throughout the course of the season. They're certainly going to have a lot to work with these new transfers and high school signees joining these returning players. So let's get into it. Top returning defensive players for the Tigers in 2026. This is not a ranking. We'll just start with the biggest name on the list and go by position after that. And that biggest name is linebacker Whit Weeks. Weeks is one of the SEC's top linebackers, period. Was having a fine season in 25 till he got hurt, missed over half the year, and he'll play alongside another of the SEC's top linebackers, TJ Daugherty, transfer from Ole Miss. And Weeks almost certainly is going to be a team captain and one of the faces of this LSU team. Next on the list of top returning Tiger defensive players is D lineman Gabe Relaford. Like Weeks, his season was cut short by injury last year, And he fits in perfectly as an end in Baker's one-gap scheme. And he's going to play opposite the top edge rusher in the transfer portal this year, Prince Umanmielen, also from Ole Miss. At D-tackle, LSU returns Big Dom McKinley, former 5-star out of high school. His career's not taken off the way a lot of people thought it would. But he should start next season alongside the big transfer Stephylan Green from Clemson. On the outside, Thorpe Award finalist Mansour Delane is gone, but both boundary corners projected to start for the Tigers in 2026 are returning players. This is the one position LSU didn't really go after that hard in the portal because they're bringing back DJ Pickett, a freshman All-American corner last season who stands 6'5", and P.J. Woodland, who had 2 picks and 9 passes defended. Both these guys can play press man, the coverage Baker prefers, and they're probably going to be on some preseason lists for top cornerback duos in the country, so watch out for that. On the back end, the Tiger defense returns 2 players who have a really good chance to start at safety. Tamarcus Cooley and Deshaun Spears both saw a lot of action in 25, and they're going for starting spots this spring at free and strong safety. Now, Boise transfer Ty Benefield is going to be in there too. He's going to get in somebody's way, either at safety or at star, the hybrid star position. And you have others, returning Tigers familiar with Baker's scheme. Linebackers, Tylen Singleton and Zach Weeks. Edge, Kolaj Cobbins. Corners, Jakeem Jackson and Aiden Anding. And Michael Turner. Star, C.J. Jim Coyley. And star/linebacker Devon Keys. And others. Some of them may give some of these big transfers some real position battles. We shall see. Either way, the excitement is high for Tiger football right now. Lane Kiffin and his staff are gearing up for spring practice. There's still a long way till kickoff next fall, but at the very least, we know the new coach fits in, and Tiger fans are pleased for now. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm Roddy Rutledge, and this is some Bayou Football.